Today, we're going to talk about how you build a country. Not with votes or speeches, but with force. This is the story of Germany, a nation forged by a simple and brutal philosophy: blood and iron.
So think about it. How do you take a whole bunch of small, separate territories that are constantly arguing and turn them into one of the most powerful nations on Earth? They might share language, but they all have their own rules and their own leaders. Where do you even start?
Wow. Back in the 1800s, one man had an answer. And let's be clear, his plan was definitely not the peaceful route. But it was a plan that would change Europe forever.
Okay, so first, let's set the scene. In the middle of the 19th century, there wasn't a country called Germany. Nope, it was more like a giant, messy puzzle of over 30 different German-speaking states.
So here was the problem. You had dozens of little territories, all doing their own thing, and the two biggest players, Prussia in the north and Austria in the south, were in a constant rivalry over who was in charge. But a lot of people had the same dream: to create one unified Germany, a nation that would be strong, successful, and a real powerhouse in Europe. The only question was, how?
And this is where our main character walks onto the stage. His name was Otto von Bismarck, and in 1862 he became the Prime Minister of Prussia, which was the most powerful of all the northern German states.
And Bismarck, well, he did not mess around. Right away, he gave this famous speech where he basically laid out his entire game plan. He said, forget about debates, forget about voting. The big, important issues, they get solved with military force and industrial power.
And that idea got a name: blood and iron. It's actually a pretty simple concept when you break it down. Blood stood for the soldiers of the Prussian army, ready to go to war, and iron stood for the country's industrial power, all the factories, all the steel, and all the railroads you need to arm and supply that army. For Bismarck, that was it. That was the only recipe for success. And you know what? He had the perfect tool for the job. The Prussian army was a seriously modern fighting machine. They had mandatory military service, so pretty much every young man was a trained soldier. They had brand new rifles that could fire way faster than the old ones. And, this is key, they had an incredible railway network, meaning they could move troops around faster than anyone else in Europe. So, with his big idea ready and his powerful army waiting, Bismarck put his plan into motion. This wasn't a series of accidents, it was a carefully engineered strategy involving three very specific wars.
Bismarck's plan was actually a brilliant three-step process. Step 1, a small war, just to show everyone what his army could do. Step 2, a much bigger war to get his main rival, Austria, completely out of the way. And Step 3, one final war to get all the remaining German states to rally together against a common enemy.
Step 1 was a quick war against Denmark. Prussia actually teamed up with Austria for this one, and they won easily. But the real point wasn't just to win, it was a demonstration. Bismarck was showing all the smaller German states, see, this is what we can do. You want to be on our team? Then, just 2 years later, it was time for Step 2. Bismarck deliberately started a war with Austria, his partner from before, and Prussia's modern advantages were just too much. Their trains got soldiers into position incredibly fast, and their better rifles decided the battles. The whole war was over in just 7 weeks. It was a total shock. And with that, Austria was kicked out of German politics, for good. With Austria out of the way, Bismarck created something new: the North German Confederation. Think of it like a Germany version 1.0. It was a brand new union of all the northern states, with Prussia in charge. But the southern states were still independent, still not sure about joining. Bismarck knew he needed one last big push.
And that push was going to come from France. The French Emperor Napoleon III was starting to get really nervous. He was looking across the border and seeing this huge, powerful new country forming, and he felt like France's spot as the top dog in Europe was in danger. Bismarck knew he could use that fear.
So he set a trap. He got his hands on a telegram and edited it to make it sound like the Prussian king had insulted the French ambassador. It was basically 19th century fake news, and it worked perfectly. France got angry and declared war. And just like Bismarck predicted, the southern German states saw France as the bad guy and joined Prussia's side. For the first time ever, all the German states fought as one. They completely crushed the French army, captured the emperor himself, and even surrounded the city of Paris. That victory over France was it. It was the final piece of the puzzle. The shared victory created a powerful sense of national pride and unity. And things happened incredibly fast after that. The French emperor was captured in September,
And then, just 4 months later, in January of 1871, while their armies were still basically occupying France, the German leaders made it official.
And get this, they didn't announce their new empire in their own capital of Berlin. No, they did it in the Hall of Mirrors in the Palace of Versailles, the ultimate symbol of French power. It was an incredible power move. And there, they named the Prussian king Wilhelm I as the very first German emperor, or Kaiser.
And the man who made it all happen, Otto von Bismarck, he got a new job title too. He became the first ever chancellor, which is like the prime minister of the new German empire that he had built from scratch.
So, Germany was now a country. But this didn't just affect Germany. It completely upended the balance of power for the entire continent of Europe.
I mean, look at this shift. Before 1871, France was the big deal in mainland Europe. After 1871, France was defeated, lost valuable land, and had to pay a massive fine. And Germany went from being a mess of little states to a single, industrial, and military giant. The new center of power in Europe was officially Berlin.
And this new empire took off like a rocket. Its factories started pumping out huge amounts of steel and chemicals, its population grew rapidly, and it just kept building more and more railways. It was a true economic powerhouse.
As you can imagine, this giant, powerful new country popping up in the middle of Europe made everyone else really nervous. Countries like Great Britain and Russia suddenly saw a major new competitor on the block. And this kicked off a whole new era of tension, with countries forming alliances and building up their armies, trying to keep up. So, Bismarck's plan worked. Through 3 wars, he created a unified Germany. But in doing so, he also created a new, much more dangerous Europe. You now had this massive superpower, born out of conflict, sitting right in the center of the continent. So the question is, when a nation forged by blood and iron becomes the most powerful in Europe, what could possibly happen next?